Alright, welcome. This is M-Dog. And you may think this is just a normal fish we're catching, but there's something special about this fish. It's not the fact that it's 140 grams perch. It is the fact that we just caught it on a lure that we have crafted ourselves in game. We were using a handmade Novogard number 2. We got really fortunate on the quality. It's a 10 out of 10. I want to throw together a quick video here just talking about making lures. It's possible that you've been playing Russian Fishing 4 for a little while and haven't started the process of making your own lures. So I wanted to just show you basically what that process looks like. We're going to be looking at how you make the first 3 lures as you start to level up your lure making abilities. So we'll be looking at the one I just showed you, as well as the handmade Moscow number 2. And then finally, the third lure you can make is actually a jig lure, soft plastic rubber fish, a foam rubber fish. And you can make that one in different colors. So let's take a look at this. This is all under making lures here. And just like all of the other crafting, you're going to be slowly increasing this percentage. You'll start off with the Novgorod and Moscow spoon. Those were the 2 spoons that I showed you, and then finally you'll get to rubber fish once you get it up to 10% crafting. So, not a hard process. It can be a little bit pricey, especially if you're early in the game. I think that's probably why folks don't necessarily get into this super quick. Although you could, if you were okay with just sort of slowly dipping your toe and easing into the lure crafting process. But let's look at what it takes. If you hit N and bring up your crafting menu and go down to lures, initially you'll just have these 2 available for you, the Novgorod spoon and the Moscow spoon. And like I told you, at 10% you'll open up the ability to do foam rubber fish, and then you'll just go from there straight down the list of things that you can craft. And then catch fish on the lures that you have made with your own virtual hands. So let's see what ingredients you need. You will need the tool you'll need for the Novgorod and the Moscow, at least, are these molds that you purchase. And once you've purchased it, you'll have it. You don't have to use it. It does not get used up when you make the lure, whether you succeed or fail. It's basically just like, if you can imagine having this metal mold, that's what gives you the ability to make this shape. It's the materials that you will have to purchase. You'll need a hook, you'll need a tin bar and sandpaper for both the Moscow and the Novgorod spoon. And then for the foam rubber fish, actually all you need for this variety is just the foam rubber. The others you actually do have to add paint to get the coloring on top of the foam rubber. So, your base of operations for this stuff is going to be at the workshop. One thing, when I first started playing, I didn't realize there actually was a store associated with the workshop. You learn pretty quick the workshop is where you get your gear repaired if it has damage done to it. But the store is what you want to go to get these ingredients you'll need. Here's the Novgorod spoon mold. As you see, at least here at Volkov, it costs $78.90. So that's why it's a little bit expensive initially. If you're early in the game, 78 silver is a ton when you first start, right? So if you're really going to be focusing on spin fishing, you'd have to save a little bit early to be able to make either of these. The Moscow's a little more expensive. The materials are what you're really looking at in terms of making lures, though, and these are a lot cheaper. So you need a piece of sandpaper and a tin bar, both under a silver for each. And once you have those, you can, as long as you have some treble hooks. So in the tackle store, of course, you can buy the hooks. I keep a few extra hooks on me. And basically I just get the cheapest ones available, which at least right now what I see in the store are these Express Stingers, medium. I think they are maybe just over a silver a piece, something like that. But if you hit N again, you bring up your lure menu. Let's what do we want to make one? Let's make one of each. So we've got the spoon mold already listed under tools. You could, the first time you do this, you're gonna have to add it. Just add the shape there, and then it automatically added. And actually, I think it does automatically add them now if you have them in your inventory. We've got the tin bar here and the sandpaper. You do have to attach a hook. One thing about the hooks at least at this point, I'm working under the assumption that the quality of the lure is not impacted by the quality of the hook you make it with. I think that is true. If we find out that it's not true, then that will change sort of the strategy here a little bit. But the reason why you use a cheap hook is because if you fail in crafting this, the hook will be gone forever. So then you just hit make. And once you complete it, you will get this indication. It'll tell you what quality it is. The lure will look a little different based on what quality level it is. The higher the quality, the nicer it looks. You'll get an indication if your lure making ability has gone up. But this is a quality of 1.5 out of 10. So when I make a lure that is that quality, this is what I do. I go to my inventory, go to lures, find that one we just made, which is this one right here. See, it's 1.5 quality. Take the hook off because you can reuse that, but you're just going to discard this unless you have people that, a lot of players around you that want your low quality lures. You're going to have to make so many of them, you will end up getting a much higher quality lure than that. And we'll come back to talk about ways that you can increase quality in a minute. But let's go ahead and make those other two lures. We'll make the Moscow spoon. Again, add a low quality hook. And let's see if we get a little more fortunate on the quality here. Nope, very low quality. So if you see how this looks, see how this just kind of looks cracked, and not cracked, but the pattern is just, looks very cheap almost, really. And so we did get, making lures went up again by 0.2. This is how the lure will look if it's a high quality though. Much finer, small pattern to it, which is the one that I have, that I use here. This one, you can tell how different that looks compared to this one we just made. So again, we'll take the hook off. We're just going to discard this. So really you're just doing this over and over to get your skill up. And then if you end up one that has a quality of, I would say the threshold, in my opinion, would be like quality 8 out of 10 or higher, then you may want to hold on to that either to use yourself or to give to one of your friends or fellow fisher people. Finally, let's make the last one. Again, you don't open up foam rubber fish till you get to level 10. I'm sorry, not level 10, till 10% on lure crafting. But once you do, did we not get any foam? I guess we didn't get any foam rubber, so we need to buy this real quick. Same place as we bought the other stuff. Go to the store, go down, and we'll actually do an expensive one. We'll get the foam rubber, which is 1.4 silver, and then we'll get a set of paints. So this gets way more expensive. If you're going to make the ones that aren't just yellow foam, then it's going to cost, at least here at Volcall, almost 5 silver just for the paints, right? But that's part of crafting it, and that's why crafting, and the farther you go, the more expensive it's going to get. But so now we'll go, which color do we want to make? Let's do an extra black one. See, it puts the set of paints here, and then there's the foam rubber. We make it. One nice thing about these rubber fish is you pretty much always do a really high quality. I don't know why that is, and because I haven't gotten any farther than this, I don't know if that will be the case on future lures as well. But for these, they always end up at these high qualities. So this is a 9 out of 10, nice soft bait that can be used for jigging. And now we've made the lures. Real quick before we wrap it up though, let me show you on skills. If you put points in these, which I don't necessarily recommend, especially early, because I think if I end up putting points in any kind of making lures, it'll probably be much later when I decide that I want to specialize in something or whatnot. But if you do put points in any of these categories, and you see it doesn't let you put points in foam rubber fish, that may be why it auto gives you a really high quality. But if you put it in Moscow spoon, it's going to increase the quality of all self-made metal spoons. And so it may be worth doing it in one of these, I guess, since it increases the quality of all self-made metal spoons if you're going to make a lot of spoons. Later on, there are a lot of other spoons that you can make. So that's the one way you can try to increase the chances of having a higher quality lure. But again, early on, I wouldn't worry about it. You're going to have to make a bunch of them to level up anyway. So you might as well just take all the low quality stuff, knowing that there is a chance every once in a while you'll hit a high quality one. So in our two lures that we use, I showed you this one. This is a quality 9.5 out of 10, so nearly perfect. And then the one you saw me catch the fish on is this handmade Novgorod spoon we made that's 10 out of 10. So that's it. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope it's helpful. Please let me know if there's any questions. I have a lot to learn still about crafting lures, but it's been something I've gotten into here recently now that I'm making enough silver where I'm fishing to support it, and I've really enjoyed it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we will now return back to our normally scheduled stream. Man, that whole time, neither one of our feeder lines caught a single